There's a great deal of history that you should know, but I'm afraid that I must continue my writing. Here. Most of what you'll need to know is in there. Keep it well hidden. For reasons you'll discover, I can't send you to Riven with a way out. But I can give you this. It appears to be a linking book back here to Dunny. But it's actually a one-man prison. You'll need it, I'm afraid, to capture Gan. Once you've found Catherine, signal me, and I'll come with a linking book to bring us back. There's also a chance, if this all goes well, that I might be able to get you back to the place that you came from.
My goodness, guys.
Yo? Feriaje. Kataware po. Modugo wipo me po. Tagema. Rekoa. Tagema. Busu rekoa. Misirapo. Misirapo. Mutika boku wa nai. Misirapo. Mutika boku wa nai. 僕はない。ミスラー僕はない。僕はない。僕はない。僕はない。
Seriously, the best way of beginning a game ever. Okay, I'm actually going to turn on my camera for a bit. So I wanted to tell you about how I started. I've got a story with how I started playing Riven. So Riven is the first game in this series that I played. So I played it before I played Myst. And it is probably known as the harder of the series, just because it's so the world building is so much more in depth, and it's less like isolated puzzles. So my story. I was 16, and it was like a week before Christmas, and last couple days of school, and I got appendicitis. I had an appendix attack, and so I was rushed to hospital, and this was the era of appendectomies, appendix surgeries not being necessarily very smooth and easy. And all was well. I got home, I guess it was just a few days before Christmas, because I got home on Christmas Eve, and my Christmas gift from my dad that year was this game, which was perfect because I was on 2 weeks of not really allowed to move very much, and so I sat in front of my computer and immersed myself in this world. And I'd always loved puzzle games, and logic puzzles and that kind of thing, and so this was like right up my alley. I had not heard of it before. I had not heard of Myst before, so it was all new. Then that next summer, I was out at my grandparents'. I was working for them for the summer. I have a different thing to show you. So I was digging, before I get onto the story about the summer, I was digging through my stuff. This is the original Hints and Solutions book. and it's got the troubleshooting guide, and it's got you could actually like buy the artifacts. There's this little brochure, and I wanted very, very badly to buy myself some of these artifacts. I'm such a nerd. I kept all of this. Yeah. Instructions for the transitions menu and stuff. Like, I don't even know why. CD swapping, troubleshooting. Yeah. So I found that treasure in my bookshelf when I was looking for these. So I'm sure some of you guys have these. I've got the Book of Atreus, the Book of Tiana, and the Book of Danny. No, I'm probably gonna read them after I'm done this, just because I'm really on a nostalgia kick. Anyway, I wanted to, put these to the side. I wanted to show you guys that, because I'm pretty sure lots of you guys have some of your own stuff too. And honestly, I would love to see if you have some of your own. Oh my gosh, if some of you guys bought artifacts, I want to know. So this is the old style point and click navigation. For those of you who aren't familiar, and this was just groundbreaking. So in this era of 3D not existing yet, having these still images and walking around like this was wild. And I remember being here, seeing that scene play out, and because I knew nothing about the game, it set the tone for me. I was so nervous. I was like a scared little bunny. I was terrified I was going to come across people who might shoot me with darts. And I didn't know that dying in this game wasn't really a thing. Oh. So cool. Okay. Up we go. that's right. Okay. I remember piecing together that this told the story of deforestation, I think it was, here in Riven. Everything for the sake of making more books. Did I miss one? This one? I didn't know anything about the writing craft yet, the art of writing ages. Oh yeah. Mysterious golden orb thing. I remember looking through that. Oh, hold on. Oh yeah. I remember looking through that gate and thinking it was gorgeous and thinking I would never get in there. This is locked. I truthfully don't think I remember any of this. I might remember some of it. Oh yeah. I don't know if I've played it since the original time I played it. I must have played it at least once. Oh, what's this? Oh yeah. I don't think there was anything by this one. Nope. It was until much later that I pieced together, so I'm pretty sure that's a projection chair. Oh no, maybe it was when I went yeah, this way. Oh, that was a light. Yeah, I think I did piece it together at some point. These whale things and their sacrifices. I'm not gonna go anywhere yet. I think... Right. I remember. I don't remember being able to look down there. That's funny. Okay. Is there... There's nowhere behind that. Okay. I had not remembered that you'll go through the temple first. This is where I remember the sheer delight of watching this little trolley car come and being so excited. And you know what I'm really looking forward to? Not switching discs as soon as I get in the trolley car. I think I mentioned this during abduction, but these... Does the door just close automatically? It must. The modes of transportation in these games have always been a sheer delight to me. Chills. I love it so much. Now, I hadn't seen this. I hadn't seen this the first time. That's the chirpy one. I'm gonna have such a hard time. It took me so long to figure out that I had to pay attention to the sounds. I don't remember if that's the frog. It might be the frog. I think I came at this a different way the first time. No, I went down the first time I played this. Because these guys... I was just... so affronted. I was so taken by them because they're like plesiosaur penguins. And that part worried me, because that was clearly an alarm, I thought, and now somebody was going to be upset with me. Oh, beautiful. Oh. Oh yeah, I forgot. They held for more than 30 years, but the corrections I made for Riven have finally failed. The island has resumed the familiar pattern of decay that is the hallmark of my father's work. I must now race to implement this new patch before it's too late. I only hope that my revised theories are sound. Revisions to Riven completed. There are still a number of minor adjustments which need to be made, but the basic corrections have been entered and should be working. Something's not right. I've been monitoring the instruments for several hours now, but have thus far observed no change. It's possible that I've made an error, though I've checked my entry against my prenotation and can find no discrepancy. I've not had a rest in nearly 3 days, so it may be that I'm just not seeing it. If the fault is with my foundational assumptions, however, perhaps after a short rest I will see something. Success. It appears that my repairs have been effective after all. The gateway image has become noticeably clearer, and although it is impossible to know this with absolute certainty, the island seems to have quieted itself. Just a few more weeks of work, and I should be free, at last, to go there myself and attempt to bring Catherine back. The past 8 months have left me little time to think, to devise a strategy for getting her out of there. I've received no sign from her in all that time. I'm afraid that... No, I must assume that she's all right, lest my fears undermine my efforts to bring her back. I did not create the Age of Riven. Unlike my father, I have never presumed to have such power, and yet the future of all those who live there has fallen into my hands. So far, I've managed to read the page before it turns. The island continues to appear stable, and I would like to believe that I have saved this dying world, but the theories of one individual cannot support the lives of real people indefinitely. I must get everyone off of Riven as soon as possible. The problem now is Gen. I'll never be able to rescue Catherine and relocate the islanders if he's still the man he once was. I haven't seen him in over 30 years, but his history forces me to assume that he is still a threat. His myopic mission to restore the Dunny civilization has left too many innocent cultures dying in its wake, and would continue to do so were he to once again be free of the confines of Riven, or the Fifth Age, as he coldly titled it. The universe has been safe from his corruptive influence for the last 33 years, because no one has been able to leave that age, the last linking book out of Riven having been lost in the Starfisher upon my return to Myst. That was my intention, to maroon my father on Riven by removing all the existing links to other worlds. And since the art of constructing books had long been lost with the fall of the Danny, he would be trapped there for the remainder of his lifetime and effectively segregated from the countless other worlds that he would have invaded. In effect, that is what we achieved. But the way it fell, however, was no one's ideal. Though the sting of the incident has gradually faded from my memory, the deep pain of the responsibility for what actually came to be has never left me. At the time, it all seemed so clear. Gen's destructive path could not be allowed to continue. It was never my choice that the innocent inhabitants of Riven, who had already suffered so much, would be the ones to pay for it. Enough. To dwell in the past is to die in the present. The situation is not the same as it was then. The knowledge I've acquired in the years since that time has yet to be applied to this problem. I think I have the solution. Why it did not occur to me sooner, I do not know, unless the idea of it had been pushed out with the thought of my sons. A prison book. Many years ago, during a hunting expedition through the ruins of Dunny, I chanced upon a formula for a most unusual type of book. Unfortunately, due to the fact that my father was then in the habit of confiscating my discoveries, I was forced to leave it behind. Years later, however, as part of my efforts to protect the vulnerable worlds linked to the books in my library, I was pleased to find I could still recall most of the formula, and with little experimentation, quickly succeeded in creating one of these devices myself. The procedure is actually quite simple. By altering key lines of text but slightly, a normal linking book's connection can be partially severed, such that anyone who attempts to use the book will be permanently trapped in the dark void of the link. That is, unless someone else then uses the book, at which point that person would become trapped and the first person displaced back into the world. The technique can be applied to books that have already been written, changes to the original text being so slight that anyone who's unfamiliar with the code would be unable to detect them. If indeed my father has not changed, what better bait could there be than a book that appeared to be a link back here to Dunny? Trouble. My nightly analysis of the island's condition has revealed that the tremors have begun again. The pattern, however, is new. The disturbances are the result of the changes I've made. This did not at first concern me. However, tremors of this type were one of the possible side effects that I had anticipated during this initial phase of the island's readjustment. Still, in order to verify my assumptions, I decided to calculate again, incorporating the new data. The results were not what I expected. The damage to the understructure is more extensive than I'd realized. I can no longer go to Riven as planned. Catherine, forgive me. I must act while I still have the time. The signs are barely visible, but there's no question that the island's deterioration is accelerating. Total collapse is imminent unless I can keep ahead, and that is becoming increasingly difficult to do. With every passing moment, I gain a clearer picture of the incredible chaos that my father's economy of words has yielded. But it's a dismaying process. The complexity of the problem is overwhelming. There's no end to this. The last few days have all but convinced me that the collapse of Riven is inevitable. That at best, I can only strive to delay it now, and hope that at some point the island will become stable enough to risk a rescue attempt. I think I've come up with a way to solve the tremors. It will require my exclusive attention for at least a month or two, so it may be necessary to discontinue these journal entries for a while. Something truly miraculous has happened. Beyond all conceivable probability, someone has finally found my lost Myst linking book and has freed me from this prison. I immediately realized this could be the solution to my dilemma, and I believe my mysterious benefactor is willing to assist me. I'm still not sure it can work. The logistics of such a scheme are formidable. The mere fact that it may now be possible for me to continue my repairs to Riven and yet proceed with my original intent to find Catherine has given me renewed hope. The last few days have left me little time to work out the remaining problems with sending someone else to Riven. It did occur to me, however, that if a way could be found to signal me once Gen had been captured, it would no longer be necessary to take a real linking book to Riven and risk the possibility of inadvertently releasing Gen. The deteriorating state of the gateway image makes the use of a visual signal impossible, but the picture remains a reliable indicator of Riven's condition nonetheless. By measuring and interpreting variations in the noise patterns, I'm still able to observe basic changes that occur in the age, even though I can't see them. The problem is, my instruments can only detect changes that occur on a fundamental level, and it seems unlikely that an individual could affect such an elementary change from within an age, the idea may be foolish. Still, there's a known weakness that may be worth investigating. An anomaly that appears as a rift between two separate systems. The Starfisher. But how, or even if, this fact could be exploited, I cannot say. Sending someone to Riven also means that once I received the signal that they were ready to return, I would have to leave my writing in order to take a real linking book there myself. However, providing my father was safely out of the way, this should take very little time. After that, assuming the island does not incur much damage in my absence, it should then be a relatively simple matter to hold it together long enough for Catherine to return to Riven and evacuate the remaining islanders. Predetermining a signal without knowing the topography of the island may prove to be impossible, but I'm afraid there can only be one answer to the question of whether or not I should send my friend to Riven with a way out. The potential for failure will be greatly diminished if the prison book is all that is taken there. I'm sure my father is expecting me to bring a linking book to Riven. May he not be disappointed. Okay. Let us continue. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure this was the first of those these things that I saw. That's the whirring beetle sound, I think. I'm writing things down. The, oops. Wrong button. The shape was supposed to look beetle-ish. And I don't think the chirpy one by the transport, I don't think it had a shape. I remember looking back and forth trying to get a better view of this lake. It reminds me, I don't know if very many of you guys know West Edmonton Mall, but West Edmonton Mall used to have this underwater submarine that would go around. There's an indoor lake in that mall. With little aquariums and stuff that you could look at. I don't think it runs anymore. But that's what this reminded me of. This is... I can't even go down because the submarine isn't there. Okay. Up we go. So that means this, can't see it right. Actually, you might not be able to see it very well at all. I don't remember which angle you can see it from. But that dagger... Oh yeah, this is the deforestation stuff. I don't think I want to go that way yet. I'm gonna come back to that. All right. Let's go this way. There's one of our guys. I love that, like, there was really intentional moments of... There's one of those daggers. Letting you hear the different critters. This reminds me of the redwoods by California and Vancouver. This is... Can I look up at it? Cannot. So this is the door we just came from. That we didn't go down. I think this is when I realized, like, how much of a fish god thing they had going on. Like, it's pretty clear that in this area, the fish god is primary, whereas in the other temple, the fish were flanking the throne. Wasn't there supposed to be another eye? Thingy with a number? Down here somewhere? I feel like I've missed... Oh! That was our beetle buddy. Maybe I didn't. Maybe there isn't another eye down here. Keep going. Keep turning the wrong way. There we go. Yeah, this is another thing that scared me. Seeing the people up there. I felt so sad because everybody's like just rushing to get indoors. There's a stranger. That's a good picture of the lake. I'm not talking very much. I'm sorry. I think I'm reliving things. I'm gonna try and say my thoughts out loud. We have our sub in the water now. Knocking on that person's door, I remember because I remember thinking that because they ran, I wanted to try and comfort them somehow. And there's no way to do that. And I was really sad about that, but I sure wanted to try. Okay, so we have the sub. We need to go down. I don't know if we can get where the sub is. So it is not here. Right. Oh yeah. I've learned that if the game makes you look at something... Oh yeah! I forgot about this. If the game makes you look at something, you should look. I remember the underwater part just blowing my mind. Was so good. Oh yeah. Right. I forgot about that. Okay. Well, this is actually where I'm going to leave things for our first episode. I don't remember very much of this at all. We'll see how I do. Kind of like I did with Myst. I want to go through and just see what I remember as I go. Please don't offer me help. Don't offer me any suggestions or hints or point out things that I missed. Because I'm really enjoying digging back into this again. If I'm stuck, I promise I will ask you for help. So, usually when I'm looking for help, I just want the tiniest little nudge. Because I really enjoy puzzle games. I really do. Yeah, that's it for this episode. Thank you for joining me on this trip into Riven. This is going to actually, whenever the new one comes out, this will make for a really fantastic comparison. So I'm looking forward to that. Thank you for joining me. I hope you're enjoying. I'll see you next time.